Have you ever cast Dread Return returning Grizzlebrand? How about Dread Return returning Terror of the Peaks? This deck almost top 8'd vintage champs in North America. We've got to try it. Welcome back, vintage gamers. Monday night preliminary event. So 4 rounds of serious Magic the Gathering. This is a deck that caught my eye while I was watching Eternal Weekend. Dan, who ended up top 8ing, played this deck in the final round of Swiss and just narrowly made top 8 by beating it. So this deck almost was a North American Eternal Weekend top 8 deck. This is a very interesting version of Dredge. So Dredge is the Bazaar of Baghdad, Mulligan to Bazaar of Baghdad graveyard combo deck that uses the broken Dredge mechanic. Stinkweed Imp, Golgari Thug, Golgari Grave Troll, except this version chooses to do something a little different from the normal Dredge lists, and instead is playing 4 Dread Return, returning Terror of the Peaks and Grizzlebrand, and looking to do a one-shot, one-turn combo kill. So we've got the everyone's favorite Bridge from Below and Cabal Therapies inside of our Bazaar deck, and we're going to try to just put a bunch of creatures into play and have a Terror of Peaks in play and put our opponent out of their misery in one swift turn. One of the problems with this deck for me is going to be sideboarding. I don't exactly know how we're supposed to sideboard, but we'll try to figure it out as we go. An interesting part of this deck is that it has no forces in it. No force of will, no force of negation. There are force of vigors in the board, but no blue forces. So we are going to be a little bit more reliant on the die roll and trying to use our griefs and Cabal Therapies on the play to disrupt our opponent's game plan and try to kill them really fast with kill them very fast with Dread Return, and then of course if you put the Grizzlebrand in play, you can pay 7 and draw 7, and by draw 7 I mean dredge a million cards and flip over your whole deck into your graveyard. I was about to say I'll see you round 1, but that might not be the case. Are you interested in weekly vintage metagame recommendations? Do you want to see your deck list played on my channel? Or maybe you are just looking for the best way to support my vintage content? Make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Let's battle. All right, so unfortunately there were 13 players in this event, and of course if there are 13 players, that means one person does not have someone to play against and gets the bye. So I do get a win, but I don't have a round 1 to show you. See you in round 2. All right, so yeah, it's time for the old first match with the deck. Definitely did not play a league match. That definitely did not go poorly. So yeah, round 2 of this prelim event. Let's do it. Keep. Ooh, is it a mirror? Are we doing mirror things? No, it's squee. Okay. We should be pretty favored then. Double squee. So, we have a Street Wraith here, which can play around certain things. We have a Noxious if we get Wastelanded. Does griefing my opponent actually do anything? Kind of feel like it doesn't. I think we just start by activating Bazaar. All right. So we have an Icarid, 1 Dredger, and an Amalgam. Not the strongest. I guess we should probably still grief our opponent. I didn't want to use any of these cards. I needed my Icarid. I want my Dredger. I think it just makes sense to grief our opponent pitching this Dread turn. Griefing after Bazaar or like griefing or Bazaaring with grief on the stack is probably like the best best order, right? Because you can hit like bridges and stuff. No. I think cycling first would be wrong because I want to be able to put my Bazaar on top with Noxious and draw it, maybe. Well, now I don't want... Like, I want to still be able to play this Bazaar. They have 2 Bazaar Wasteland. Jeez, okay. If I take their Mental Misstep, it's kind of signaling here, but... We're in, like, a really bad spot, right? I think we're just in a really bad spot. My opponent's going to Wasteland us and counter my Noxious Revival, and then we only have 1 Dredge 3. We definitely want to Grief so that we can bring back Icarid and Amalgam, but I don't think that's enough. I think we're actually losing here. They pitched a Wasteland? Hollow 1. Oh, they drew a second Wasteland, and they have Force backup. I see. So they kept the Master of Death, so they have Force backup, and then they hit a second Wasteland. All right, so I want to put my Bazaar on the top of my library. They just F6'd and let me put the Bazaar on top of my library. Okay, well, in that case, it's very bad for the opponent. I consider that very bad for the opponent. Don't Dredge. Draw. Draw my Bazaar. Play my Bazaar. Activate my Bazaar. Makes more sense than Street Wraithing, right? Bold of my opponent to make that play. Or not make that play, I should say. Oh, I hit a Golgari Grave Troll. God bless. I think my opponent is a little dead here. Yep. Well, they didn't even see any of my fun cards. It does look like we would have been okay, though. Because we had a Golgari Grave Troll in our first 3 dredges. So I think we would have been okay. I think we would have probably won that game, actually. All right, so here we're bringing in Leyline. And we're bringing in Vigor to hit Leyline. And we're bringing in Strip Mine and Wasteland. And we're bringing Noxious Revival. But a weird thing here is, typically in this matchup, you would take out all your forces of will and like that kind of thing. But there are no forces. So what do we take out? Looks like Grief is pretty bad. I think Street Wraith looks good. Noxious looks good. Like, maybe we're taking out, like, some therapies. Like, are we taking out our Dread Return stuff? I don't know. Like, we're not taking out Amalgams. Amalgams are still good. I have no idea how we're supposed to board for this. I mean, if we put a Grizzlebrand in play or Tyrone Peaks in play, we immediately win. So, but they have a bunch. I mean, they should have no forces post board either. If they know what they're doing, they should be cutting all of their blue forces. Like, they really shouldn't have any forces for my Dread Returns post board. They should be bringing in like 16 cards, not 16 cards. There's only 15 in the sideboard. It's like a 10, a 12. It's like a 12 card sideboard pivot for both decks usually. have to cut 4 more cards. I don't know how we're supposed to do that. I feel like these therapies are just not it. And then is bridge good? Bridge should still be good, right? Dredge used to have to play mana and cast Nature's Claim to kill ley lines, and then they printed Force of Vigor. Like, what? I don't have enough cards to take out here. I don't know what to do. All right, well. That can't be right. All right, I picked random cards. I have Dread Returns, but I don't have my Dread Return package in anymore. I don't know. I honest to God just don't know. Like, it's fine. Powder. Have to find a Bazaar. Don't have a Bazaar. Mulligan. 2 ley lines, no Bazaar. Mulligan. There are theoretically hands here we can keep that don't have a Bazaar, but this hand's great. Has a Bazaar and has hollow ones. Put this Narcomoeba away. Put this Street Wraith away. Oh, they have a ley line. I think my sideboarding plan was close, but not correct. Oh, they haven't finished their mulliganing yet. They might not have a ley line. All right, they have a ley line and on a 4-card keep. See if they have a Bazaar as well. Theoretically, they could keep like a Wasteland ley line hand. Okay, they kept a Wasteland ley line hand. We, I think, are just deploying hollow. We're definitely just deploying hollow ones. I want to keep my lands. I'm just going to go for the hollow ones and hope they don't have a Vigor. They kept in Force. And they kept in Mindbreak Trap? Okay, so they're probably not super familiar. Keeping in Mindbreak Trap and blue card Force is not a good sign. All right, my opponent has no cards left, and we have a hollow one, so we're just going to attack them 5 times and win. Oh, wow, we drew a Vigor, too. Two Wastelands. Sure. Sure. Why not? No, it's not too aggressive of a Force of Will. I disagree heavily. That's just how can it be too aggressive of a Force of Will? What are you talking about? All right, we take these. All right, here we go. Round 3. On the pair down, on the play. Oh no. If I powder, I lose both my Grizzlebrand and my Terror of the Peaks. I don't think that matters very much, though. I'm pretty sure you just powdered away. Mulligan. Huh? My 53-card deck did not have a Bazaar in the top 7 or the top 7. It's mulligan again. All right, keep 2 cards on the bottom. Definitely the Dread Return. And then I have a Dredger. I have a hollow one. Is the first therapy better than the second bridge? Don't worry about it, Heister. I have no problems with people saying wrong things in chat. It happens. I say wrong things on camera all the time. I would definitely rather have you chatting than not chatting. So always happy to have you. I don't know if a second bridge is better than a first therapy. I'm gonna go with 1-1 here, but I don't know the answer. There are definitely some heuristics for this version of the deck that I just am not really very in tune with. But like there's a world where we like therapy away our hollow one, right? What the fuck is this? I know you're not a first time chatter though. This is simply a lie. Though not that many times. Not that many chatters. I don't think we're supposed to therapy blind here. That seems silly. I do have nothing left for going on though, so let's see what opponent does to us on their 7-card keep. Tonight has been wild. Bazaar is dead to a wasteland. Hope this shambling shell is a good dredge here. Ugh. Hey. Welcome, Ben. What do I do with this, chat? What do we do with this? So we do have the ability to therapy ourselves and put the shell back in our yard. The problem with that line is we lose our hollow one. So we have to attack 8 times instead of 4 times. Because I have no dredgers in my yard. I think I'm not allowed to do that. Maybe I can hit like a Stingweed Imp or something. I don't know. This looks pretty bad for me though. Uh-oh. Please don't Swords to Plowshares. Please don't send my hollow one to the fields. Things are so bad. If this does get sent to the fields, then we have to wait till 8 cards to dredge again. Wait, so they have Wasteland and Tundra, but no Luris? What does that mean? Is it like Esper Initiative? Oh, it's Initiative Tinker. It's Initiative Tinker. That's what it is, probably. I don't think I'm gonna therapy myself. Because the deck is not great. I'm pretty sure this is the player who top 8'd Eternal Weekend with Initiative Tinker. Time Walk. Time Walk's really good here. Yeah. It looked like a Time Walk angle. Like, basically the only way you can make your Saga Initiative Tinker play here actually good is if you draw Mox or Time Walk. So they don't have any Mox in though. So these constructs are just chump blocking. But things are still really bad. Street Wraith. Now that's an interesting draw. Oh, wait, I lose my freaking bridge if they just chump here. Ah. I'm still supposed to attack, though, right? Oh, they just didn't. Okay, they're going to go for the double block. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'm thinking we therapy ourselves. Oh, God, they might just force therapy ourselves, right? Because this hollow one's no longer getting in anyways. So I'm going to try to therapy myself. and put the shell into my yard, and then I'm going to Street Wraith Dredge it. Wait, is there any reason to Street Wraith Dredge right away? I guess they could play a Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, I could hit a Narcomoeba and return it a Prized Amalgam, maybe. I mean, if they have a force, then they just force this therapy, right? I think we're losing this game. Unfortunately, our draw was just too anemic, right? We drew no good dredgers. We drew 3 serum powders out of 3 that were in our deck. Are we just letting this happen? We've had some really interesting, like, just sets of variants card draw wise that like made for some kind of interesting decisions. But like we haven't had like a lot of Stinkweed Imps, which has made dredging kind of difficult. All right, so I'm gonna therapy myself, put the shell into my yard, and then I'm gonna Street Wraith my shell. I think it makes sense to Street Wraith the shell right now. And then, I mean, we have to hit like crazy. We really probably need to hit really well. I don't know what kind of main, if they have like a main lantern or not. I probably can't fit a main lantern, but what's happening? Oh, my opponent is just activating so they can F. That doesn't do anything. I have a dredger in my yard still. They could, of course, just have a wheel. Okay, so I did hit a Stinkweed Imp, and I hit another therapy. So now the question becomes, do we therapy them away and like try to like, do we name Time Twister and hope that we don't die that way? I feel like it makes sense to do such a thing. Like, what is this one zombie token doing anyways? It's blocking a Hull Breacher. Could name Time Vault, could name Time. Yeah, I mean, both of those things are kind of the same, right? They're one-ofs that kill me on the spot. I don't think they have Time Twister in their deck if they're playing Initiative Tinker. Let me just go look at their last list because I have that information. Why would I not use it? So we should just look at the top 8 lists from North America. Champs. Or maybe we won't. Where is it? Camden. Oh, that's not how you spell it. Two Hull Breacher, no Time Twister. There is Time Vault. Initiative creatures, Lavinia. 3 Wastelands, 1 Strip Mine. So I think they're on this deck. So I'm just going to name Time Vault as a way to not die. Oh. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's Flash enters the battlefield. Counter up to 1 targeted, activated, or triggered ability. If an ability is an artifact, creature, or planeswalker, it's countered this way. The permanent loses all ability. Okay. I haven't seen this card yet in Vintage, but I did see some lists popping up. I mean, I guess I've seen it, but I haven't played against it yet in Vintage. So they've had Force of Will this whole time. Interesting. All right. So it's a Merfolk that has like a little stifle kind of on it. I know that there is a Merfolk list that has been seeing some play recently. It's like a Saga list with Hullbreacher and this card in it. Tidebinder. This is like $50 on Magic Online, right? I think there's a reason I haven't played with it. I feel like the reason is I ain't spending that kind of money. Tisha's Tidebinder. $31. Interesting. So they got a Black Lotus, so they can play a Tidebinder. They drew a Wasteland for turn. They've got a... This is still a winnable game, though something that's really bad about this game is we lost our Grizzlebrand Terror of the Peaks. That's a really big problem, because that was going to be our way to win through all this nonsense. This Stinkweed and pass to hit another Dredger as well. It did hit multiple Dredgers. All right, so the game continues here. I've got an Icarid next turn. They could stifle my Icarid trigger, right? Do we die before we can get Amalgams in play to block? I go to 10. If they just stifle... Oh, they draw an initiative creature? Ah. Well, Terror of the Peaks and Grizzlebrand are both gone. So... no need to worry about that. So I think they just simply stifle this Icarid and kill us on the swing, right? 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, 12. Yeah. So all they need to do is stifle this Icarid. Yeah. Wow. All right. I mean, crazy. Our draw was just a little too anemic. Pretty unfortunate. Oh, it loses all the text in the graveyard. Interesting. Is it all copies lose all text? Oh, we hit an Archimedes. If that permanent loses all abilities. Okay. So we hit an Archimedes. Does that change anything here? We have one bridge. We get this. So then we can block. They forge, and it's 5, 8, 9. If they draw no artifacts. Okay. So we're not technically dead right now. So if my opponent simply hits no artifacts, they have a Ponder. We would live for a turn. We would get a 2/2. They would stifle my Icarid again. Oh, wait, no, they don't stifle my Icarid again because I don't have anything. I can't. My Icarid is... Okay, so they didn't even go for it. Why would you not go for Ponder? Oh, I guess I can always block that. So that's not the case. I just don't know. They didn't have to put the counters on this, right? If they put the counters on something else, then I just block something else. Okay. Maybe I'm the idiot. Typically am. All right, so my Icarid doesn't come back because it's still turned off. My opponent has... They didn't shuffle. And they still have another Tidebinder. Oh, they drew another... they drew another White Plume off the Ponder, and they trap and kill me. Okay, I see you, opponent. Okay. Well, it says if the ability is of an artifact, creature, or planeswalker is countered this way, that permanent loses all abilities as long as it remains on the battlefield. So does it? It's still a permanent in the graveyard, yeah? Or is it no longer a permanent? Oh, okay. So maybe it's bugged. No, we didn't make it back to my upkeep, right? I don't think it's a visual bug because it was. Opponent seems to think that is how it works. Yeah, I didn't make it back to my upkeep, but. Hmm. All right, so then the age-old question, do I want any of these magic cards? I don't think we want Sickening Shoal because they can be playing Lavinias, and they're not even playing like creatures that matter, right? Like Hull Breacher is annoying, but it's not a huge deal. I think the only thing we want is 4 Vigors. I mean, I'm maybe we want 4 Vigors and Revival, and then we can take out. I just don't know how to sideboard with this deck. No, I messaged my opponent and asked them if that's how it's supposed to work. Maybe you do just want to take out hollow ones. Like my opponent's deck is got 3 containment priest? I have to bring in Sickening Shoal, right? How am I supposed to do this? They have so much hate. Maybe it's like not all of the Vigors. I can. Is that actually good though? I don't know. The problem here is I don't know enough about how to play these decks post board. It's definitely a gap in my knowledge. Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm not really convinced that my normal dredge plan actually beats them. All right, another mulligan. All right, I'm just gonna mulligan again. All right, keep that one. Like I'm not even sure like these hollow ones are like very good, are they? So I'm drawing 2 and discarding 3. So I could put the amalgam on the bottom, draw 2, discard the thug and the other 2, play hollow one, and leave myself with the ability to return my hollow one or return my bazaar if it gets wastelanded. That's probably is the best. So we'll just do bazaar, activate. Guess I will put Grizzlebrand Dread Return in my yard. Ah. There's a Tabernacle too? All right, well, I can still do my Dread Return thing and kill them. And I also have Icarids, right? So it's fine. I didn't bring in Wastelands, but I don't know if those really matter. I can kill through a Tabernacle, so it's not the end of the world. Oh, I should have activated... I should have activated in response in case I hit a bridge. Because if I hit a bridge, I get a zombie, and if I hit a Cabal Therapy, I could use it. That was a misplay. That was a misplay right there. I was supposed to activate in response. I don't know if we should draw to keep the Noxious. I think the speed is an issue here. I think I'm just okay with losing to a Wasteland. I think I need to get like an Icarid online as soon as possible. I think I'm okay with just losing to a Wasteland. I think we're gonna win more games if we just act like they don't have a Wasteland than playing around it. They had a Wasteland. They also only play 3 Wastelands. So I will return... Oh. I guess I can eat a prize amalgam, right? Eat a prize amalgam, dredge a grave troll, return a narc amoeba. Hits 2 bridges, no therapy. See, I needed a therapy though, right? Because if I had a therapy here, then I could return a Grizzlebrand and win the game, right? If I hit a therapy here, I sack the Icarid, I target them, I make 2 things, and then I return a Grizzlebrand, and I just dredge through my whole deck and return a Terror of the Peaks and win, right? I guess they could have a Tasha's Tidebinder, but now... Oh, I guess these die... The Narcomoeba dies on my upkeep, so I still get the zombies next turn. That's really cool, though, that I could just win from that spot. Wow. It's really cool. This deck is sweet. They have a swords on my Narcomoeba. Oh, they have an initiative creature here. An initiative creature is not the end of the world for me here. Oh, they have a rest in peace. Sick. All right, well, now we're dead. All right, I mean, that's just like too much hate for Dredge to beat, right? So. Okay. I mean, you just died of that much hate. All right, here we go. 4th and final round of this vintage preliminary event. This may be a Dredge mirror. We'll see what happens. I'm going to mulligan. We should be very favored in the mirror. I agree. All right, so it is the Dredge mirror. They're on a Dakmore salvage version. I'm just going to powder. I'm going to keep a Narcomoeba probably. Keep. No, that's just like a Magic Online bug, right? Where if you get a buy in round, if you get a buy, then you get paired down for all the remaining rounds. That's what Sandy Dog told me, anyways. All right, so we have a Dredge mirror here. Gotta go fast. Ooh, 2 Bazaars broken. So I don't think we put the bridge in the yard yet. I think we just put all the dredgers in the yard. Or is that wrong? Am I supposed to put the bridge? Because they can go like grief and break the bridge immediately, right? I feel like you'd want to hold the bridge because of grief. The screen is going to be like not... I'm kind of half the screen is my graveyard. Half the screen is their graveyard and the exile. Bloodghast Dredge. Okay. So are we supposed to activate in our upkeep? I feel like the answer is no, right? We'll just dredge a thug and then we'll play a bazaar. And that way our bazaar activations can still have bridges. Isn't it better? Isn't it better to just... Like, we gain 1 extra dredge if we do that and don't hit anything. But, like, is there any world where if we activate second, we have more use for our bridge, or no? Is that not a thing? I'm just trying to think it through. Maybe that doesn't actually matter, and we're just supposed to activate in our upkeep. All right, we did find an imp. We're just going to kill them this turn, right? So we just put the imp and the bridge, and we don't even have to put the thug back because there's a grave troll and an imp, so I can put the therapy back now. Or maybe I do have to put the thug back because I probably don't have to. Dredge back. Maybe I don't think it matters, right? Like I just take the game actions. As long as we can get 3 creatures in play this turn, we're gonna put the Grizzlebrand into play. We haven't hit a Narcomoeba yet, though. We have to hit a Narcomoeba for this to happen, right? All right, we hit 2 Narcomoebas, so they're just gonna die here. So the Narcomoebas come in. How many bridges do I have? Oh, no, I only hit one bridge. No, I have two bridges. I have two bridges, so we're fine. So let's see. So I just therapy myself, or I guess I therapy them for force of will. And then we return a Grizzlebrand. And then we dredge the rest of our deck. Oh, do they have a mental misstep? Oh, they have a Noxious Revival on my Grizzlebrand. I think that means I can't win the game on this turn. Could I have played around that in any way? I don't think I could have played around that. They have a second Bazaar. Am I supposed to just reanimate my Terror anyways? I could reanimate my Thug. Because they can never block this Thug. Wait, I can reanimate my Terror and then can I reanimate my Thug? Because I'll get two... I won't have enough, right? Yeah, because if I Dread Return this, then I get something and things. So I could Dread Return the Grave Troll, but I can't ever... I don't have enough creatures in play, right? I think I just let this happen then. I don't think there's any reason to therapy the card in their hand. I guess if I therapy the card in their hand, they can't activate Bazaar in upkeep. So maybe I'm supposed to do that so that they can't keep the Bazaar. Yeah, okay. So maybe I am supposed to therapy the card in their hand as well. I don't think it matters though. I think in no matter what, like they do a bunch of dredging here, but my dredging is more powerful, right? On my turn, I just kill them with Terror plus anything. Grave Troll. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we are supposed to hit them so they can't have the second Bazaar. But they can't kill us in one turn, where our deck can actually kill in one turn, so. But yeah, that does seem like a misplay, though. Slight optimization that we can improve on. They did hit all the creeping chills, so we are at 8. Which means we can still activate Grizzlebrand if we wanted to. Oh, I guess they have Hasty Bloodghasts. Because we're at 8. It doesn't matter, though, right? I just take it, go to 4, and I just kill them anyways. Can I kill them from 30? Shouldn't be a problem at all, right? I have this Golgari Grave Troll will be like a 30-30 anyways. So there's no reason I don't just dredge through my whole deck first, right? Like the first thing I should do is just dredge through my whole deck. As long as I don't draw out. 5. This is off screen, sorry. 12. Let's just return these. Let's just dredge now here for 6. So then I do Dread Return, targeting Terror. Sack, sack, sack. Dread return targeting. Oh. Just do this. Save targets. Always yield. Dread return targeting Golgari Grave Troll. From 29 life, take 24. Dread return targeting Grizzlebrand. I have a lot of things happening. Woo! I probably can kill from like 100 right there, right? So cool. Because I can sack those 3, and that gives me 12 zombies. What? Wait, that's so cool, isn't it? All right, so gonna bring in Leyline. So another Dredge matchup. So what did we play? We played Dredge, and Blue-White Initiative. Okay. All right, so the Dredge matchup, we're bringing in Leylines, and we're bringing in 12 cards, and then we have to figure out how to board. Because we kind of figured out how to board last time, but it didn't really help very much. So Grief is definitely out. And then I'm like not convinced you want all of your Dredge package. But like Therapy kind of seems okay to like target your own thing. Street Wraith seems really good against Noxious Revival. Like on a Dredger or something. Maybe that's not actually that good. Or like Noxious Revival on your Bazaar and then you can draw it or something. Yeah, I don't know. Like normally you cut like all your Force of Wills, right? And your Force of Negations, but we don't have any of those. So I have to like cut some of this other stuff. Do you like trim Icarids at all in this matchup? Like I don't know. We could trim a bunch of different things. I just have no idea. Like is Therapy actively bad? I feel like it's not good. Like I definitely want the 12 cards that are coming in, and I definitely am taking Grief out, but like the other 8 cards, I'm not even sure. Cut on some bridges? You think I should cut on all the bridges? I feel like going down a large number of Dread returns makes sense to me. I feel like the therapies are not that good. I'll try this. This is similar to what we did in round 2. Let's try this. I don't know. The game gets a little weird when you have ley lines and stuff happening. This hand's so good. It has a ley line and a vigor and a bazaar and a wasteland. This is a perfect hand, right? Like I have no dredger, but like this is basically perfect. They're on a mulligan to 5. They're on a mulligan to 4. I think we just win. They're on a mulligan to 3. They're on a mulligan to 2. I mean, they're never beating this hand on 2. But my hand is just too good. They powdered on 2. They have 1 card plus Leyline, and they concede. Okay. I won't show my hand. That would be pretty BM. But I think like any number of mulligans, they're just never beating this hand. This is a perfect Dredge Mirror hand, almost. This like I don't think it's very hard for me to draw up a better hand. Like this bridge becomes a dredger, and then it's a perfect hand. But this is like a 99 percentile hand. Like it's so good. All right, well, I'm not 100% sure that was the most interesting of matches to broadcast and put on YouTube, but they was matches of Magic for sure. Um, I'm going to be playing like some league matches on my Twitch. So if you want to go back and look at the Twitch VOD, there should be more matches that I'm not going to put up on YouTube that you can check out if you want to see more of this deck. If you want to see more vintage content, make sure you check out this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. New vintage gameplay videos on each of those days. I will see you then.